Some say they have seen a gigantic living being, several stories high. We're all going to die. Oh no, run if you can, 'cause Tokyo, Japan is in for big trouble. Looks like Godzilla is real, and once he gets here, he'll reduce things to rubble. There's no time to pack. Run and don't look back. Careful where you hide. Many won't survive. By now he's well on his way, and you're gonna pay if you don't get to racing. But look up in the skies, we're facing demise from an alien invasion. Yes, he is destructive, and we hope he won't advance. But as it turns out, he might just be our only chance. Save the lizard, he will make a stand. City filled with screams and deadly laser beams, a full-scale attack. Can he hold them back? This is a dangerous place. The city's a waste, battlegrounds epic. Both sides are pummeled and fried with nuclear eyes and death rays electric. Yes, he is destructive. We have seen this in the past. But as it turns out, it's an advantage that he has. Save the lizard, he will kick their ass. The air has gotten thick with broken glass and steel and brick. The aliens are no more. Hear Godzilla's mighty roar. And so the battle was won, and when it was done, he retreated to the ocean. And if we're ever attacked, I bet he'll be back, at least that's what I'm hoping. Yes, he is destructive, partly from gargantuan girth. But as it turns out, you know it could have been much worse. Save the lizard, he will save the earth.
Hey everybody, happy Sunday and welcome once again to a live stream here on the BroBryceHealth group. I am gonna check my microphone volume here and push us live. How are you guys doing today? Once I get here, I think I can do this. There we go. Let me get that straight. Welcome to the chat. My name is Bryce L. Tomlinson. I am the guy behind BroBryceHealth, and I am not a doctor, but I'm here to try to answer any of your questions that you may have. I do not hold a medical degree. I'm not a medical doctor, and if you do need medical advice, you do need to seek out a medical professional and not myself. However, I have done thousands and thousands of hours of studying, studies, and medical papers, so y'all can hopefully tap into me for some useful information regardless, and I may be able to help you to interpret some of this sea of conflicting weird medical advice that you are currently getting. Welcome to Todd and Vengeance and Old Nerd Reviews. Tony over there on the Old Nerd Reviews channel. And Vengeance is our happy moderator on the YouTube side. We also have Sherry Atanasov, who was our guest last week. She's over in the chat and moderating on the Facebook side. So welcome, everybody. And hopefully the Restream bot is being super helpful and allowing everybody to see each other's chat. I should be able to tune in and see all of that as well. Let me get everything kind of framed up so that I can see it properly. Anyway, how are you guys doing today? It's a groovy day here in Reno, Nevada. We had a fire happen last night as a result of some lightning, and very interesting case where we saw the fire coming over the hill, and fortunately it didn't come any further than the very top of the hill, and it seemed the Reno Fire Department got a hold of it and we did not burn up, so that was pretty awesome. Anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us, and hopefully everything is under control where you're at as well. I do have some books to give away if you want to see which books we have available. If you have not won a book in the last 4 weeks, I will let you know how to acquire a free book later on this hour if you're in the continental United States. If you're not in the continental United States, then, well, I mean, you can be in Alaska or Hawaii as well. You could be in the United States. If you're not in the United States, all you have to do is fly to Reno and come to my house, and I will deliver it free of charge to my door. And you will have a free book. So thank you very much. Anyway, today I have a focus. The focus is on fiber and how you can get enough fiber. I mean, you know, for crying out loud, it seems that a lot of people just seem to be struggling to get in enough fiber to be able to even have, let's just get a little personal, guys. I know this is going to be a TMI moment for some of you, but let's just be real. How long has it been since you've had a movement and you've been on keto? How long has it been? Has it been too long? Is it just too difficult for you? Well, the answer to your question, how do I get enough fiber on keto, may not be what you expect. And I'm going to get into that over the course of this hour. How are you saving the lizard? I am saving the lizard by playing that song and getting the message out that everyone needs to help save the lizard. By the way, he's talking about Glenn Case's song, Save the Lizard, Save the World. That's at the beginning of this program. And I love that. That's maybe my favorite Glenn Case song. And it's basically about Godzilla. If you heard the original demo cut of it, he actually said Godzilla in the original version. But this version, he doesn't specifically say Godzilla. But you know that's who he's talking about. For real. Yeah, 100 degrees, and it's been just sweltering hot here. We knew that when we heard the lightning close by that there was going to be a fire because everything here is just bone dry. All right. Hey, anyway, so our focus today is on fiber, and like I was saying, some of you may be wondering, how can I get enough fiber? How, for crying out loud, how can I get a decent bowel movement on this keto thing? Because some people, especially in the adaptation phase of keto, doing a low carb, high fat diet, how can you possibly get enough fiber to have a decent bowel movement, right? Or to just be regular or something, right? Well, I got news for you. It's not about your fiber, and it is about your electrolytes. And it is about your gut health. So fiber is not necessarily something that is required for gut health. And in fact, some may speculate that fiber may be adversely affecting your gut health. And some would even go as far as to say that fiber is the thing that gets you colon cancer. Some people would say that fiber is absolutely counterindicative of a proper gut health status. Yeah, Old Nerd Reviews says, I guess I'm just weird. I eat crap and poop every day. Yes, when you're not eating keto, most people just poop every day. We're going to say poop a lot today. Cardboard is, it's not keto. No, cardboard is not keto. Although there are some products that taste like cardboard that claim to be keto. And there are some low carb, high fat products and recipes that taste like cardboard as well. Welcome to the chat, Brooke. Brooke, by the way, has some wonderful Monday messages for us here on the BroBryceHealth group. So if you have not joined the BroBryceHealth group yet, if you're just watching this on YouTube or on Twitch and you haven't yet joined the BroBryceHealth group, you should go over there, because we've been having this wonderful, fun thing of every day of the week, we have a different person that brings a message, an uplifting message, and we call it Brighten Your Day. And one of the things that inspired it was Brooke's channel, Being Well with Brooke. So I recommend you guys check out Brooke's group, Being Well with Brooke, and as well Sherry has a group called You Can Keto with Sherry, and I recommend you check that out as well. And Sherry does some of our messages as well. She did one this week, and it was pretty awesome. So thank you guys for your wonderful messages. Every morning we've got these wonderful messages. Tony does one every Friday, and Julie does one on Saturday. We have Kat Keto doing one on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we have Michelle Ryle, and it's Sherry on Thursday. So I sort of fill in like I did this morning where things are needed. So I just try to fill in a little bit. And so you might have heard me singing a song this morning. And I had to keep it quiet because there were people asleep. So anyway, y'all, I hope you're enjoying that. So what do you think? How do you get enough fiber doing keto? Or is fiber an issue for you? Because for me, I am virtually, I would say I eat vegetables when I want to. Most of the time, I'm just carnivore. I just eat meat and animal things. So like cheese, I try to keep my dairy under wraps. I try to keep it under control, not to eat too much dairy. I used to be like way heavy dairy, and I found that it was really causing me some inflammation issues. So I try to limit my dairy, and many times I will just eat meat in a day. So meat, cheese, eggs, cream. I'll have cream sometimes, but I try to keep it under wraps. And yeah, Tony says, watch Julie's video on Facebook, and Zoanna didn't even recognize her because she lost that much weight. Yeah, she does look very different now. Mom says that I should have more fiber in my diet. Vengeance, I don't know about that. You know, I think if you're doing it right, you might not need enough fiber. Here's what I found is that fiber, for me, makes me like a crapping superstar. I'm not joking. I feel like I'm in the pooping Olympics, the bathroom Olympics. And maybe, just maybe, that's why they named that toilet paper marathon. Because holy tar balls, I I just have to say that you know, eating a copious amount of vegetables, and in fact, if you're eating vegetables for your electrolytes, there may be a valid reason for that. That's pretty cool. Like spinach is really rich in calcium, right? You never get calcium from milk, for instance, like drinking milk, not cream or cheese. You never get calcium from milk because of the sodium caseinate in it, and inhibits your ability to absorb calcium. And in fact, it may inhibit your ability to absorb all of your calcium that you take in throughout the day. But for instance, you can get a tremendous amount of calcium from spinach. However, to eat enough spinach to get enough calcium in a day, you'd have to just eat just ridiculous copious quantities of it. And I guarantee you, you are going to spend some time in the bathroom, more breaks than your boss is gonna be happy with. And yes, exactly, Tony. You're gonna be like, look at that right there. That line says it all right there. Poop-tastic. You're just gonna be poop-tastic for real. Spinach is great, but eat it when you want it. Don't eat it because you think you have to get enough fiber, because constipation on keto is never a fiber issue. It's never a fiber issue. It's always an electrolyte issue. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, but I can say that I have studied this. I can say that I have spent some time researching this, reading the papers, as well as reading the toilet papers. So let's just be straight, y'all. This is for reals, okay? We're being real here. It is always an electrolyte issue. So if you are constipated on keto, it means that your electrolytes are out of balance. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not getting enough of one, but it means that you are out of balance. For instance, if you don't have enough calcium in your diet, you can't absorb the magnesium that you have in your diet. So you may be getting enough magnesium, but because calcium is a catalyst for your body to absorb magnesium, you may not be getting enough. You may not be getting enough magnesium, even though you're getting enough, because your body doesn't absorb it, because one of the things that it requires in your diet is some amount of calcium. Now, calcium does not automatically give you strong bones. Calcium requires, for calcium to give you strong bones, you have to be putting some amount of weight bearing or stress on your bones for your bones to develop some amount of strength or some amount of density. And strength and density aren't necessarily the same thing. Yeah, magnesium can be very key. Specifically, if you're constipated, magnesium citrate may help you to have a movement in quantities, regulated quantities. However, magnesium citrate is not all that easily absorbed as like magnesium that your body uses as an electrolyte. It will help you have a movement, but it's not necessarily the most absorbable form of magnesium that may help your body use magnesium as its own electrolyte. So magnesium malate or glycinate might be better utilized by your body as really a firing mechanism. You have to remember what electrolyte means. Your body is an electrical mechanism. It's a machine. It has gears and cogs and all of these electrical impulses, neurons and things that are fired electrically, and electrolytes are required for that to happen. Your heart won't beat according to plan if it doesn't have the right electrolytes. Your involuntary responses will not work correctly if you don't have the electrolytes, the conductors in there to create those things. Yeah, so you missed a day of magnesium and you paid for it. That's right. And a lot of times I think that some of us, we know right away when we miss out on some of the electrolytes that we're trying to use. Old Nerd Review says he likes raw spinach, not cooked. And yeah, you think you went through that too? Yeah, I went through a lot of things. The first 2 weeks doing keto, I went through a lot of things adapting. The adaptation phase for me was pretty rough. Hey, welcome, Linda. Linda Long has joined the group here and over on the Facebook side. So welcome to the chat. Yeah, I went through keto flu a little bit. I went through the leg cramps big time. The leg cramps were the worst for me. But now that I got my electrolytes straightened out and me personally, I created a little bit of information in the pinned post for the particular way, the approach that I use for electrolytes. And I decided that since my job is a little more strenuous, that I did need to try to supplement my calcium. And I'm not doing that with vegetables. Originally, I did that with spinach, and it worked for getting my calcium. But I just, like I said, I became a bathroom triathlete. And I just don't feel like spending that much time in the bathroom. So I opted to do a little research. Here's what you can do. We have never lived in a time like we do today where you can Google things for yourself. And Google, I think it's actually been added to the dictionary as a verb. Google. So where you can actually look up something like, where can I get enough potassium, right? So you always, a lot of people just automatically think bananas, right? Well, bananas, they have a real tiny amount of potassium. They have less than half the potassium that you can get out of an avocado, and they have maybe 3 days of carbohydrate in them. Hey, Leonie, welcome. You're watching the live, I think. You know, Leonie, if you're not seeing it on Facebook, which I think everybody's seeing on Facebook, it's also over on youtube.com/BroBryceHealth or twitch.tv/BroBryceHealth. And so yeah, I think you're watching the live. You're not watching a replay. I'm here live. Anyway, Vengeance says, I'm thirsty, so I'm going to grab me some iced tea. Don't worry, it's unsweetened. I'm not worried even if you do sweeten it. I'm not one of those people that automatically judges everybody for but I do tend to be the keto police when people are trying to pretend that they're eating keto in front of me, and they're not. You almost always drink unsweetened iced tea. Yeah, me too. On occasion, I might add something to it, but most of the time I drink unsweetened. Hey, welcome back. Shinar and Leonie just joined again. Hey, already lost 7 pounds and doing great. Excellent. Don't forget to focus on your electrolytes, Shinar. That's the biggest thing. People go through keto flu mostly because of electrolytes. They go through leg cramps mostly because of electrolytes. And they go through constipation not because of lack of fiber. You know what? I used to be, check this out. I used to be the Nazi about vegetables. You cannot do a keto diet without vegetables. You need to learn to like vegetables. I don't care if you don't like vegetables. You need to learn to like vegetables. I don't care. Well, Old Nerd says I'm drinking a huge Coke. Eat a light bulb every day. Okay, you might have an idea there. See what I did there? I used to say you have to have vegetables every day. And here's what I say now. You have to have electrolytes every day. A lot of people would say that if you don't have your vegetables, you're going to regret it. Well, here's what you might be doing if you're trying to use fiber to become regular on your keto diet. You may chances are, if you were eating a crap diet before, if you were eating just garbage before, here's what was happening. Okay, you had enough carbohydrate in your diet that you were consuming fiber, like it or not, intentionally or not. You were consuming enough fiber to have a bowel movement on a regular basis. Now, whether you were regular or not, like on time, or, you know, whether you were spending all day in the bathroom because you have to make multiple trips to the bathroom over and over and over, that's not necessarily being regular. But if you know that you have a routine that is solid, you know what I'm saying, every day, that you're going to need to go to the bathroom at this, you generally do, okay, that's being regular. You know what to expect on a daily basis. That's something closer to being regular. Now, when you're eating a crap diet, you had regular bowel movements, or at least you had bowel movements, but that doesn't necessarily mean you were regular. What it means is you were having enough fiber that you may have been concealing and covering up the fact that your electrolytes are skewed way out of balance. Suddenly, you're depriving yourself of all those carbohydrates and thus the fiber that came with those carbohydrates. And here is what you find out, is that your electrolytes are out of balance. And they always were, but you were covering up with all that fiber. So what's the best ways to get electrolytes? Old Nerd Reviews says. Tony says, what's the best way to get enough electrolytes? Well, for me, now I struggled to get enough potassium. You can get enough potassium by eating, say, 5 large avocados. But by that time, you're not really eating low carb. You can get maybe a third of your potassium from just meat. You need something close to 3,500 milligrams potassium a day. Now, if you're on blood pressure medication, if you are taking copious amounts of potassium in addition to your blood pressure medicine, you may have low blood pressure and it may screw you up really bad. So if you are on blood pressure medication, make sure that you check with your doctor before you try to supplement any kind of potassium. And this is why potassium, for instance, only comes in 99 milligram tablets from the stores. You can only get it in 99 milligram tablets, and that's why, because they don't want you overdosing on it and lowering your blood pressure down to ridiculous amounts. But what I use, and this is all in my pinned post, I have links to all this stuff, and you don't have to use the links, just I put those there so people can find things. If you're lazy and you don't want to have to hunt around, I have the links there. It'll take you right to the product on Amazon. And yes, they are affiliate links. So yes, I would get a commission from that, but I don't care if you use those links or not. What I care about is that you are getting your electrolytes. So potassium, I use no salt. You can use new salt or any salt substitute that uses potassium chloride. You may also know that as a water softener, water purifier. Products use that as well. So potassium chloride, it comes in, you can get it at the regular grocery store right next to the salt, no salt or new salt substitute that uses potassium chloride. You can use that to supplement for your potassium. And I try to get in close to 2 teaspoons of that a day. Over the course of the day, okay? Do not try to take that all at once because you will have disastrous results. You'll be like way more regular than you ever wanted to be. Is it possible to make keto Cajun food? Because yes, there's tons on YouTube. If you go on YouTube and look up keto Cajun recipe, just look that up. You'll find just a million keto Cajun recipes. You're on BP meds and take potassium, and BP has been very high in the evenings. So yeah, you would be really careful with that. Definitely would spread it out. I would definitely talk to your doctor about that. If your blood pressure has still been super high, the tendency is that on potassium, your blood pressure drops too far. And That's the problem, is BP meds and the oh, your grandbaby's calling. All right, congratulations. See you later, Shinar. Plastic cheese. Yeah, so yeah, it is possible to make keto Cajun food. In fact, it's done on a regular. So that's potassium for you. Now, I've talked about electrolytes before. Another way you can get magnesium. Two particular supplements that I take, and I'm pretty picky about it. I want to make sure that I'm getting the right kind. So magnesium is another challenging one. And magnesium citrate can have a laxative effect if you're taking enough to supplement your magnesium. I take malate and glycinate. So glycinate or glycinate is a relaxing kind. So I try to take that at night, and I try to take malate in the morning, magnesium malate in the morning. And if I'm getting enough potassium and I'm getting enough magnesium, I do not have a problem having a bowel movement. Period. And that is even if I'm every day just eating meat and nothing else. If I just eat meat every day and nothing else, I don't need fiber as long as I am balanced on my electrolytes. And if I'm really exerting myself a lot in the day, then I need to make sure that I am replenishing more electrolytes, because I'm really exerting myself and losing a lot of electrolytes. I work in a place that's super hot in the daytime. You sweat a lot. And so I am constantly like drinking. I have a 20-ounce tumbler, and I drink that like 4 times a day. And it's just because I'm thirsty. And I'm not a person that says you need to drink this much water every day. I think you drink when you're thirsty. Well, I drink when I'm thirsty, and I go through at least 4 of those things a day. And each time I'm finding it helps me more if I add like a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of the no salt, the potassium chloride. And that gets me my potassium back. That gets me my salt back. And the salt helps me to hold on to more of my fluids so that I don't become dehydrated. You know, that's been a tactic in the military for like 100 years, salt tablets to help you hold on to your water, because otherwise you're going to get dehydrated. And that's not talking about like holding on to your water, like retaining water. It's just not getting rid of your water too fast. That you're not trying to retain water and like, you know, swell up your ankles or anything. Not talking about that. We're talking about just not getting rid of your water too fast and passing it. You want to hold on to your water long enough to be able for your body to use it. So salt is really key in that. Salt is also really key in having regulated blood pressure. Turns out that a lot more people have high blood pressure from lack of salt than they do from salt. There's been no corollary evidence to show that salt causes high blood pressure. It just isn't so. There's a lot more people. There's a very rare instances where in some people it may cause it, but there's been no scientific study to support that in all of population that salt raises your blood pressure. It just isn't so. It's a myth. So salt, my mother-in-law is on blood pressure medication. Her doctor told her to lay off the salt. So she did not, and she eats more salt than I've ever seen anybody eat ever. And it turns out she had her labs done and she was low on sodium. So how do you tell somebody who's low on sodium to cut back on their salt and put them on blood pressure medication? Well, it turns out now she eats more salt than she ever did, and she's cut her blood pressure meds in half. Her blood pressure is totally normal, but her doctor will not let her get off of blood pressure meds. Go figure, he's the doctor, but he will not let her get off blood pressure meds, even though her blood pressure is totally normal now. Welcome to the chat, Laura. I noticed you came in there. The script says not to take potassium. Yeah. And I would talk to your doctor about, you know, like get your labs done and find out if you're low on potassium. but potassium does tend to lower people's blood pressure. So, yeah, my doctor was not super useful on that either. Blood pressure is going down on keto, then shot back up last month. Have been stuck with no weight loss. And that's why we focused on the non-scale victories. Maybe that was a perfect subject. But there's times when, when I went months without weight loss and I just had to focus on the non-scale victories. Not necessarily like losing clothing sizes, but look at the lack of inflammation, the lack of pain, the lack of depression symptoms and things like that I was struggling with. And there's just times when you need to, sometimes I find that, hammering out your macros again, just work out your macros again and focus on your macros for a little while. I don't think everybody needs to live by their macros all the time, but it really does, it does help you eliminate what the possible maladies might be, the possible hiccups in your diet might be. Process of elimination. I find that macros can be a great tool in figuring that out. Sometimes they're not the end all be all and they don't solve everything. But, for me, going carnivore pretty much solved all of it. Because well, I know I'm not eating too many carbs because I generally don't eat any. So anyway, so in summary for what the general topic is, and you guys are open, you just bring up anything and Q&A style. If you guys have questions, I would love to try to bounce stuff off the wall and figure out what sticks. But if you're worried about getting enough fiber in your keto diet, stop worrying about getting enough fiber in your keto diet, because fiber is not essential for anyone ever. Okay? Stop it. So we are 40 minutes into this live stream and I'm just going to tell you fiber is not essential. You don't have to worry ever again about getting enough fiber. What you do need to focus on is your electrolytes. And here's the great news. Electrolytes are way easier to get in and cheaper, way cheaper every month, way cheaper day to day to get in than fiber. Getting enough fiber into your diet to have a bowel movement, to try to become some kind of bathroom triathlete, to try to run the marathon. I was joking with my wife last night about that. It's maybe that's why they named the toilet paper that marathon, because holy tarballs, I'm gonna spend a marathon in the bathroom. I'm running the 5K of my intestinal tract and trying not to think about it too much. But I just want you to know you do not have to worry about getting enough fiber in your diet, because it's a dumb thing to focus on. Todd says, hey Bryce, off subject a little bit. I and 2 other friends of mine from town might be going to Vegas in the future. Not sure when, but I'll keep you updated if you want. That's about 12 hours away for me. So Todd, I might not be heading over to Vegas. It's a little ways away. If you were heading over to the biggest little town, and that would be Reno, then maybe I might come meet you. But yeah, Vegas is 12 hours away. I'm not heading over there. Anyway, so there's your good news. And we're coming up on 42 minutes past the hour. And I'm hoping you guys have some more questions. Yeah, if any of you guys ever want to meet up, if you're here in Reno, or if I go to Portland or something and you guys want to meet up there, then fabulous. I would love to hook up with you guys. No. Leonie, electrolytes through a liquid drink. That is actually a great question. It's maybe the best question we've had this hour. And I think that electrolyte drinks are a ripoff. First off, especially if you're talking about like Powerade or Gatorade. Powerade Zero is really popular in keto circles. People seem to like, oh, let's get some Powerade Zero for some, you know what? Read the label, okay? Find out, like, look at the USDA requirements for potassium and sodium and calcium and all of these different electrolytes. The main ones that you're going to be worried about are calcium, sodium, and potassium and magnesium. And look at Powerade Zero, or look at even any of the electrolyte products like Ultima, for instance. And Ultima, by the way, has maltodextrin. Thank you to Kim Howerton over on Completely Keto, the Facebook group, for phoning up the company Ultima and finding out that they have maltodextrin, which is just sugar, in their flavoring. So yeah, like I was saying, if you are focused on like getting a drink that has electrolytes in it, you know what? It's cheaper just to get the electrolyte products. I mean, it's just super cheap, right? You can get your magnesium, you can get your potassium, you can get your potassium from no salt, you can get your magnesium from a tablet, easy enough. Malate or glycinate is what I recommend. Some people use citrate, but that can have a laxative effect. You don't necessarily have to use citrate to have a regular bowel movement. A lot of people use glycinate and malate, and as long as you're combining it properly with the right amount of sodium so that you have enough water in your body to have like a regular stool, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about stool. And Cindy just came in at just the right moment when I said stool. We're talking about stool. We're talking about pooping. Are you getting enough fiber on the keto diet? And the fact is, you don't have to get enough fiber. Fiber is not a thing on keto. So hi, Cindy. Cindy is my good friend from back in the Active Worlds day. Back when, like right at the end of my time on the Amiga. And we had electrolytes. Yeah. So yeah, if you're worried about getting enough fiber, you don't have to worry about that. But what you do need to focus on is getting your electrolytes. I get my potassium from no salt. I get my sodium from salt. I use pink Himalayan salt. They say it's better for you. You know what? Salt is salt. If you can get salt, right? I say get what you can afford. If you can afford pink salt, like we get pink salt at Ross sometimes, and it's like super cheap. Yeah, apple cider vinegar helps to balance out. Like, you know, a lot of people have acid reflux before they start keto, and they find out that like the acid reflux was actually caused from an alkaline state in the stomach. The alkaline state in the stomach means you're not having enough acid in your stomach, and your esophageal sphincter relaxes and now allows acid from that acid stomach to pour out into your esophagus. And even though it's not acidic enough for your esophageal sphincter to close up properly, it's still acidic enough to burn holes in your esophagus. Be proud of pooping. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go because a friend wants to play Fortnite with me. All right. You're going to go. Okay. Well, have a great night, and we'll see you later. And Todd, yeah, like I said, if you ever want to come to Reno, I'd be happy to meet you here. I'm not driving 12 hours to Vegas, though. Ugh. Just remember, table salt has added sugar. Not sure about that. I don't necessarily buy that. I'd have to see that. You remember when you were saying, you know, I'm one of those doubting Thomases. I'm a skeptic, right? Remember you said the thing about Truvia, and oh my gosh. So now like I'm on a mad quest to find pure, which I have not found yet. Acid reflux is gone. Sweet. Well, you know, the first couple of years that I did keto, I did not use pink salt. I used regular table salt. And I was like heavy in ketosis the whole time. So even though sometimes I didn't lose weight, I was still in ketosis. Go figure. Maybe it was because I was trying to get my fats in. In the beginning, I spent a lot of time getting my fats in, which I think is now a nonsense concept. Getting your fats in, that you need to get enough fats to burn body fat. Well, you know, oxidative priority is a real thing, and you need to realize that your body has to deal with the food that you eat. It has to deal with it. So it will deal with dietary fat first before it will deal with body fat. It can only deal with so much body fat in a day. So in order for your body to really have enough fat to run off of, you do need to supplement with some dietary fat. But you don't necessarily have to add fat. You just eat regular fatty foods and you'll be fine. Saw it on a label of Morton's. I'd need to see that. I'd really have to see that. We'd have to do one of those. You and I will have to do like I did with Kat that one time. That's not keto. We're going to look up products that are not keto that everybody thinks are keto. Hey, Dave, welcome to the stream. We're in the last like 10 minutes or so, and I want to give away a book. So if you have not won a book in the last 4 weeks from me and you're in the United States, then all you have to do is say that you're interested in a book, and you can look through the list on Facebook or on YouTube. Or if you're watching this on the replay on Twitch, and say that you're interested, and I will pick a random person, at random, who says that they are interested in a book. All you have to say is interested, and then we will PM back and forth. I will pick a random person, and if you don't hear from me, then you know that you weren't picked. But I'm going to pick a random person at the end of the stream, and I will PM you and say, hey, you want a book. Which one do you want? So look through the description of this video on YouTube or on Facebook, and you will see links to all these books. And if you see one that you like, say that you're interested, and I will give it to you free of charge if you are the person that I randomly pick. We have about 10 minutes left, and I would love for you guys to throw me any kind of questions that you have. And Dave, I saw you had a picture of ribs. Was that real barbecue sauce and French fries on that plate? Oh, keto Nazi here. Anyway, I'm not trying to police you, man. Dave is my brother from another mother over in Portland, he's like the me up there, keto evangelizing up in Portland. Because of Dave, maybe, Calvary Chapel, Southeast Portland is like gone keto like Ebola plague up there. Products that say they are keto but aren't, products that appear to be keto, but well, there's a lot, and there's a lot of products that are like, yeah, you may go into ketosis, but you may be eating garbage. So there's some of these products that I love. I take pictures of them in the stores. I get in the habit of doing this. I take pictures of them in the store, and I just look at the ingredients and I go, why? So I love to do that kind of things. The ribs were to die for. I saw that, man. I saw that. I haven't had a rib in a while. There's a place down the road that does ribs, and they're like these huge ribs like you've seen like in those viral videos, and they're like this big around, and like one rib, yeah, it's like 15, 18 bucks for one rib. Holy crikey. And I'm telling you, I could eat one whole one. And I know that people look at those viral videos and they think, oh, that's going to clog your artery. And I go, yeah, well, that'd be like breakfast for me. So love that. Anyway, yeah, we're getting lots of smiley faces and thumbs ups and hearts, and love that stuff. And if you find somebody out there that thinks that this video might be useful to them, that they are obsessed with getting enough fiber and eating enough veggies to have enough to have a regular bowel movement. Maybe you'll share this video with them. Maybe you won't. But let me tell you this. I'm not going to really push anybody to share these videos because I'm sick and tired of watching viral sharing of videos for no apparent reason. People see the same videos in their streams everywhere they go. It takes away from what's special in a group. And so I think that our group is pretty special. And so I'm not asking anybody to share this video unless they really think that there's a specific person that they think is that it'd be useful to. Make killer ribs. Found a great dry rub. Oh my gosh. Well, next time I'm up in Portland, you'll have to bring me some. Okay? It's a deal. I made the deal. Dry rub recipe on Pinterest. I don't have the patience to cook ribs. I don't know. I'll do a ribeye. That's about it. My thing is I do a ribeye steak, like a thick 1.5 inch ribeye steak in cast iron on the grill. I cook it in cast iron on the grill. So you get that smoky flavor and you get it cooked in its own fat. So that's my thing. And you get that perfect sear that you get only from cast iron. Just love it. Yes. Hey, watch this. It's all about poop. Thanks, Tony. Yes. That's what would happen if you shared this just nonsensically out of context in a random group. Hey, look at this video. It's all about poop. That would be fantastic. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Yeah, well, I love this group too. It's become something charming and special, and I love that. I want to see this group grow, but I want to see it grow organically, and I want to see it grow because people want to be here, not because people have just heard about it and that's it. And then they come and they see, and they come and they see, and they don't participate. I want it to be special because of the people that do that are part of this group. I do regularly make boneless ribs just with spices. Nice. I love boneless ribs, but one thing that I hate is when, like, we have a rib cook-off here in Reno. It's a famous rib cook-off. It's huge, right? I mean, it literally takes up, like, it seems like it takes up a square mile at least. And it's a huge event, and there's all these special sauces that come out, and it's difficult for me to find a place that will serve some ribs without sauce. To get the sauce on the side, it's difficult also for me to get my money's worth because they want to serve it with so many sides, and you don't get your money back for the sides that you can't eat, like the coleslaw that has sugar in it, or the corn on the cob that just turns to sugar. Thank you, Leonie. That means a lot to me. So you don't get your money back for those things. So you only get to eat the meat, and hopefully it hasn't been marinated in something with sugar, which is a lot of the case. But what I hate is when you're out and about and you're eating ribs and you forgot to bring floss. Okay. There are a few things that I hate in the world more than eating ribs and being stuck without floss. Because then I'm looking for anything, right? I'm looking for anything. I'm talking about, I'm using my old Blockbuster card to try to, I'm looking for Scotch tape. I'm going to layer together some Scotch. I'm going to use, I've used rubber bands in a pinch. And I'm telling you, it's just not pretty. So, it's a bad thing when you're out and about and you're eating ribs and you're stuck with yes, the nugget. You got it. You got it, Dave. Yes. The nugget has this huge complex there, and they take up the whole place inside and out with rib cook-off stuff. So yeah. Barbecue Pit Boys for the win. Yes. As long as I can get it with no sauce, I'm good. And the place down the road, we do it on occasion just for a treat. It is expensive, but I'm telling you, you know, I can just peel it, just falls right off the bone. And I love that. I don't have to try to chew it off the bone or peel it off the bone. I just, as long as it's warm, I just knock my headphones out. That's awesome. Anyway, guys, we are coming up on 2 minutes past, 2 minutes to the hour, and we're getting ready to close up shop. And if there are any, yeah, blade of grass for floss. I've done that. I have done that. You know, you can get that kind of like, I don't know, it's crabgrass or what, the kind that's like really hard that you can like stick between your thumbs and make a horn out of. It's real strong and thick, and you can, oh my goodness, I have used grass for floss. I have. I've used hay for floss. I've used, yeah. It's not pretty. And what's really not pretty is like after, you know, like 6 hours and you realize there's still something stuck there, and everybody that you've been talking to has seen this big lump of whatever it is sticking out of your face. I love that. Not. Said no one ever. I love seaweed floss. Yeah, the thing that gets you though, the thing that comes back and smacks you in the back of the head is that everybody that you've been talking to for the last hour and a half or 2 hours has seen whatever that thing is that's stuck in your face. Seaweed floss. Gotta love that. Anyway, guys, I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank Tony for helping keep the chat alive over there on the Twitch side, for Vengeance for moderating on the YouTube side for a while there, for Sherry for moderating here on the Facebook side, and for everybody else that has joined us and chatted with us and kept the chat alive today. I just want to thank you guys so much, and for all the great feedback on the group, and also to everybody who has been participating in Brighten Your Day. That's the alarm telling me it's 5 o'clock and it's time to close up shop. Y'all, I hope that you'll come back next Sunday, and I hope that you find something to brighten your day. And if you do, there's a thread called Brighten Your Day on the Facebook group. And I hope that if you come up with something each day that brightens your day and you want to share it, please let us know. Just post it there. And if it's something that made you happy today, please share it with somebody. I don't want people to think that keto is the only key to health. What I do want you to know is that joy is a big deal. And if you can find something that gives you joy, even for a moment in a day, I think that it's important. So I want to end with that thought. And I want to try to end with that thought every week. Just try to have some joy and brighten your day some way. And if you do find a way that makes you happy today, please make sure that you share it in that thread, Brighten Your Day, so that maybe it'll raise up somebody else's spirits. You don't know what everybody's going through each day. Somebody's a little down today because of one thing or another, and maybe they don't want to talk about it. But maybe there's something you can do to cheer them up just by sharing something that you love today. Even if it's like just a picture of a flower in your garden or a song that you heard. Try to brighten someone's day today, even as you're walking out the door and into your neighborhood. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see you next week again here on the Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch live stream, BroBryceHealth, and I hope that you'll join us over in the group. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Feel the burn. That temperature is rising and the stove was turned on. The time I saw what happened in my mind, it would come true though before long. I'm not blind, girl, I must confess. You could scorch muffins if you touch them when you wear your evening dress. I need a glass of water, I need fresh was taught. And you put the theory very clearly when you look so smoking hot. With the fireproof gloves on, maybe we could touch. But I'm learning I don't wanna be burning you away too dangerous. I'm not blind, girl, I must confess. You could scorch muffins if you touch them when you wear your evening dress. I need a glass of water, I need fresh air. I'm trying to get some loving, but the room is like an animal when you're in here. Yeah.